Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome back to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. It's good old Sci-Fi Sundays. We got a little OG stuff going on here. Wish the old Storm Bear couldn't make it. We'll hopefully see him in a little bit, but we just have to wait to see if the hibernation from the Storm
I don't think he's up.
I was about to say the hibernation might be going, you know?
Haven't heard from him at all, have we, sir?
How you doing, Jamie? Doing well?
I'm right there, you.
Tired. Been watching a lot of movies and TV for something cool that we should probably announce here in a second or two.
Okay.
But yeah, first things first. Good morning. Good evening, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Sorry, say that again.
Jordanator, we do have a little bit of something on Stargate, but I wouldn't get too excited. It's just really a little bit more about what's sort of happening with Sony, and I have been talking to somebody about a week and a half ago who confirmed what we've already said a little bit more, but it also given us a little bit more insight into what they may do. So we'll talk about that in a bit.
All right. Yeah, the description, we might have just copy-pasted one of the previous ones. It's a Sci-Fi Sunday. We're keeping it simple sometimes, you know?
Well, we have got Doctor Who, we have got Babylon 5, we have got a bit of Star Trek to talk about. So we've got stuff.
We do have some stuff. But before we jump into all of it, we will remind y'all at the end of the stream, but should we go ahead and do our little announcement?
It's your baby. You go.
All right. Well, y'all, something really fun is going to be happening this coming Tuesday. Our buddy David Reed over from Dial the Gate sent me a nice contact from a friend of his who happens to be the one and only John Pope in Falling Skies and the one and only Sergeant. I almost said Sergeant Major Paul Davis in Stargate SG-1. We're interviewing Colin Cunningham.
Like I say, and a million other things.
And a million other things.
This fellow was in Andromeda, X-Files.
X-Files. I'll go give you my entire list. He's in literally 20 different franchises.
Bunch of horror movies, the 4400. It goes on.
Oh, the list does not stop, and I'm hoping it doesn't stop anytime soon. He has a new film coming out November 5th called He Never Left, which is a little low-budget indie horror film that looks amazing. I may or may not have been able to see it on a little festival run, so there are some things I can tell you about it, and we can interview about it even more intelligently because we've seen it, thankfully, instead of just jump in and asking some questions, which we will jump in and ask Stargate questions. We have to. But it's an in-person interview, actually, so that's a lot of fun. I get to do probably the bulk of an hour of an interview, and we're going to have everybody else come in and do some extra questions. So we'll have a whole team aspect of it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for it. And
cool. Be a good chat.
We got it. Yeah. It will be pre-recorded, but hopefully we'll get him on a live stream in a few weeks, a month, or 2 months.
And he's a cool
year, whatever it may be.
He's one of those really likable actors. It doesn't matter what he does. I said I first saw him in Stargate, obviously, where he's this clean-cut, officer, and then a bit of a Weasley character in some ways sometimes. But I think he became a more reliable character as the series went on. But then you see him as John Pope in Fallen Skies, and you're like, is that the same guy? It's phenomenally good.
He's, been nominated for 3 Canadian Oscars, the Geminis. I'll give you my whole spiel before the spiel happens. I got to save the spiel. But no, I'm super excited for it. I hope this leads to some cool stuff for us. I think Colin's a really cool guy. I've only got to talk to him a couple times on the phone already, but I am ecstatic to meet the dude in person. He just seems like a grade A kind of guy,
Cool.
But yeah, anyway, we got some news coming up. What should we start with? A little Star Trek, a little Babylon, a little not Stargate, but we got Doctor Who, one of our other
we'll start with the Doctor Who stuff because again, it's not massively big news. I've already told you guys this. And yes, he was in The Magicians as well. He played a brilliant character. Sorry, I got to Cunningham. What was it called? Blood Drive. He played this like psycho actor. Anyway, brilliant character on that as well. Right, so Doctor Who. We all saw, or lots of us saw, the news sort of last week that the Doctor Who actor, whose name I'm going to have to say now, isn't it?
Kudigatwa, right?
Hudigatwa. Okay. He was basically on a talk show over in the UK. And in the talk show, he mentioned that they'd be filming season 3 sort of next year. But then when it aired, that bit was cut out. It talked about season 2, it talked about the Christmas special, but the bit about season 3 was cut out. That was done because after there was a big conspiracy theory at the time, was producers have cut it because there's not going to be a series 3 and it's going to be cancelled. It's not true. They just realised that actually it's not 100% accurate because actually season 3 hasn't actually been greenlit yet, and won't be greenlit. And this was sort of a bit of the news that sort of like dropped at the time. It won't be greenlit until season 2 airs.
Okay.
Right. So now this ties into what I was telling you guys a couple of months ago, that Disney are really, really not happy with Doctor Who at the moment. They have this big deal. It was like a couple £100 million. It was a lot of money. I want to say $600 million, but I think I might be making that up. Can't be that much. But anyway, they had a deal with Bad Wolf and the BBC to put Doctor Who on Disney and Hulu and whatever, on streaming. So that become the international streaming provider. They're not happy with season 1, and they really didn't like the viewing figures for it. And everybody, even Russell T Davies says, look, the viewing figures were not quite what we were hoping. They were comparable to other Doctor Who series, but considering the money that was then like propped up, there was an expectation that it would, a new Doctor Who, it would push on, and actually week on week the viewing figures dropped quite dramatically. So they weren't happy. They also weren't happy like some of the complaints about some of the storylines and things, which we won't get into. There's like, because somebody's going to shout woke, and we don't want to do that. But anyway, so where we're at the moment, it's Bad Wolf and BBC are trying to be loyal to Russell T Davies, like I said to you in those videos that I did. And they think he's the man to keep pushing forwards, and they've agreed with Disney that there are some changes that have already been made for season 2. Like Russell T Davies, there's other writers have come in, and there's been some changes in tone and things, and they've promised less dance numbers and stuff like this. You know, I love a dance number in sci-fi. Right?
Singing Klingon, right?
Love it. So there's going to be a bit of a change in tone, etc. as well.
Okay.
And basically, the BBC have got Disney to hold off and just sort of say, look, let season 2 drop. Let's see if we can get a bit of a backward upward trend. And Disney have agreed certain like data points. So like, if we get this many views, this many hours, blah blah blah, then thing. But this is all to do with them renegotiating for season 3 anyway. Basically, what I'm being told, and what we've been told here at SciTrek by a couple of people now, is that Disney is stolen firm. They don't think Russell T Davies is the person to push it forwards, but they're not trying to force it at the moment. There is an agreement in place that if season 2 meets certain criteria, they will renegotiate the current deal. It will be for less money. So the budget for season 3 looks like it's going to come in a little bit lower. But the Disney want to continue with Doctor Who, basically, if they can. If it doesn't, then I'm being told Disney will come in and they will demand a new Doctor, and they will demand that Russell T Davies is removed as a showrunner.
Oof.
So,
Oof. Well, maybe a new, I guess not a new budget kind of introduces a new set of confines, because you can't spend as much to do everything. Well,
you got to remember, this deal was negotiated. I'm sorry, this deal was negotiated before the strikes and things. And I think post strikes, we're in a new world.
Everything's good
with sci-fi, and so that was always going to happen anyway.
Okay, well that's good. But also, that's just. I mean, I know I'm not necessarily the Doctor Who audience, but damn, that's just it's like a wrench, but it's a wrench that's expected in a way. I guess it's just continuation of what you were saying a couple months back.
I think it's logical. I think because also we did the big shock title, Russell T Davies sacked, and then I went on to explain it's not really what's going on, but that's what Disney are pushing for.
Yeah.
And they're sticking with it. They're basically said, but it seems to be they've got an agreement. If it does better, we'll renegotiate. If it doesn't, BBC and Bad Wolf will have to do as they're told. And I think that's fair enough, to be honest. Disney are putting a lot of money in it, and that is the international distributor. That's in theory, the big customer.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did that. And if they're not happy, they're going to push for it. So that's where we're at the moment, anyway.
Customer number one's happy, and there's a large base of customers that also aren't. Something's going to change. I mean, simply put, it is a business first and foremost. And I mean, it doesn't matter what target demographic like you're jumping for, like for a film or TV that you expect. Like, obviously, Doctor Who's huge, but they're not going to just jump out and cancel it. Kind of like Rings of Power, I guess, where Prime is saying it needs to hit. Would they say 130 million views in the next season, or it will not do anything? Or they're canceling it, I believe. And that's kind of what TV shows have to be. Like Acolyte, it
wasn't good.
Concept, it wasn't great.
I'm being told that if the Disney deal breaks down, I asked, well, will BBC and Bad Wolf try to continue with Doctor Who? And he said, I was basically told, and I can't say a lot about who told me, but they're in a position to know. We'll put it that way. And he sort of said, it's very likely there'd be a break, and that's all he put it. That there'd be a break.
Literally, as people are asking for breaks.
Well, yeah, that's what I saw. I saw Coakley's message, and that reminded me, to be honest, of what he said. So, but yeah, he wouldn't go as far as saying it would be cancelled, but a break. And I think that would have to be to stop and have a think about, okay, do we need a new doctor? Do we need, how are you going to pay for this? Are we going to go back to Doctor Who before, where the budget was much smaller because the popularity isn't there that it was under David Tennant?
Mm-hmm. Now it's back into like a hefty niche.
Yeah. Can Bad Wolf find somebody else to take it on from the streaming provider? Because that's going to be a big chunk of, the BBC aren't going to pay for this show in its entirety. They won't. So, how they're going to? So I think there'd be a hiatus and a break when they try to figure out what the hell to do if the Disney deal collapses. But again, that's understandable.
Would it be more likely that they do? I guess would they try to? You think it'd be more logical? I guess just from your standpoint. Obviously, we don't know exactly what the studios would do, but do you think it'd be smarter for them to take the approach of, all right, let's do a season that kind of fixes this? Because of course, I'm not complete understanding of anything Doctor Who. But I know it's a set of doctors, kind of a reimagining, another set of doctors, reimagining another set of doctors. Would they continue?
In theory, each doctor's a new character.
Yeah. Okay. So do you think they would continue this like set of doctors, or would this new guy just be like the new reimagining, and we're going to jump off from, I guess, that's almost...
Well, I mean, they kind of did it before with Doctor Who that... oh, God, I love him. I've forgotten his name. The actor immediately after Matt Smith. Somebody in the comments help me. The older
Peter
one.
Capaldi?
Peter Capaldi. They kind of did this with Peter Capaldi. In the first season, they tried to go very different with the character. Okay. He didn't really know he was Doctor Who, and there's all sorts of things going on. He was quite grumpy and blah, blah, blah. But they realised people hated it. So they changed tact. And by the end, Peter Capaldi's Doctor Who was a bit more like what we know as Doctor Who. And then they made it a lady, and everybody went, ah! Which I just thought was stupid. I thought she was brilliant as Doctor Who, but the viewing figures continued a downward slide. So they've done it before, and that they could get in Gatwa and basically rejig it and try to make it a bit more Doctor Who in the next season.
Yeah,
I think this season of Doctor Who was sort of thought up and pitched to Disney and everyone else sort of maybe 3 or 4 years ago, when the woke thing, I think a lot of the industry was trying to fight back against woke. We saw She-Hulk and things like this, and they thought, yeah, we can fight back against it. And now in the last 2 years, I think they've sort of gone, actually, some of the people shouting woke have got a point, and maybe we've gone a bit too far. And there seems to be a correction going on at the moment. I actually think Doctor Who is probably going to be a pretty good example of that, because it was a show that was maybe made about 3 years too late, and then and even Disney sort of going, maybe we need to have a rethink of this, because it's turning people off, and it's turning even liberals. I consider myself a liberal. It's even turning liberals off, because even us are going, I mean, come on, yeah, all right, give us the message, and yes, what you're saying is right, but you don't have to keep, down our throats about it.
Yeah, I'm a classical liberal as well, and it's just balance, not overpower of it. I was kind of thinking about this earlier, where so, I mean, it's sci-fi. It's supposed to be progressive in its own way, and send some cool concepts out into the world that are like, all right, maybe we're not ready for this yet, but let's introduce them and ink our way into it. And instead of introducing and like inking our way into it, I guess just from the outlash I saw online, because I'm not a Doctor Who, I'm not a Whovian per se. It seemed like it was a big season of how much can we turn the tide right now, instead of let's introduce this to our audience, and by 3 seasons in, they'll totally be down for it. It seemed like just too much at once, like the balance,
Quite
just
possibly,
not overpower it, and it was overpowered. But real quick, we got someone else. What are you thinking about all this Doctor Who stuff down here, Sarah?
Sorry, it's so
Sarah's
dark.
in.
I'm having like technical issues today. Sorry. Anyway.
You said technical issues, and a Stargate literally lit up behind you. I don't believe you. Too good a time.
Oh, I got the most. Hi, Sarah, by the way. How are you?
Hello.
I got the most random message the other day. It's so fun. This really amused me. Right. So, somebody that's been a long-term SciTrek, I won't embarrass them, because the story is going to involve pornography. So, I won't embarrass them. But they just messaged me going, Jay, have you seen the Stargate porn? So I was like, no, mate, I haven't, because I didn't know there was. I don't,
Sure.
I'm not going to go into my porn habits, but they're not extensive. So I'm a boy, leave it at that.
Yes.
But so they sent me a clip, right? No, they sent me a link to the movie that apparently is Stargate porn, and it was.
Okay.
It was a Tomb Raider parody. So I was like, what are you on about? So when you go, no, watch out. And then told me the bit to watch out. It's like, all right. And straight up, there was a Stargate in it. Like full Stargate. So it's like, so I watched the young lady go through the Stargate thing, and then I very quickly had to turn it off, because there was another bloke and there was 2 other women, and then thought, if the wife sees my search history, this is going to go badly. So I decided to turn it off. But he was right. It was straight up Stargate porn.
So quite literally in the old orifice this time.
In the old orifice. The most random message I've had in months. That was brilliant. It did give me a chuckle. And then when the wife catches me watching porn, I'm going, for research.
For research. I don't know if this comment fits your story, or Sarah coming in with the Stargate better, because it works for both.
Sorry, I just had to tell that story. It just amused me.
That's right. No, it's funny.
Hilarious.
I mean, it's just they make everything into porn. It's just crazy. Anyway.
Tomb Raider. That's what it's called. Tomb Raider. In case you want to go and see Tomb.
Okay.
I think that's right. In case you want to go.
I think I'll just take your word for it. I'm good.
I'm gonna take your word for that.
I'll put a link in the description.
Okay.
See, the thing, you screwed us all up, Jay. If any of us even try to search for it just to laugh, you're gonna be in our head while we're searching for it, and this is not okay. I mean, you've tainted.
No, that's not okay. I don't want you thinking
the Tomb Raider.
I don't want you thinking about me when you're looking at your phone.
Exactly.
In your quiet time.
Yeah.
Jesus God. Anyway, yes. So that's the Doctor Who update. Done. What do you want next? I've been off for 2 weeks. So I've got like 2 weeks worth of information.
I read this immediately after you said that. God. Surprisingly well acted. Anyway, look who's here. Rah, what was the update? Matt missed it. You want to give him the briefest of the updates?
No.
Just rewind.
I missed it too.
Rewind and watch it again.
Stuff going on. Anyway.
Sarah missed it too.
Yeah.
No.
Time.
He said it's in the group chat or rewind it.
All right.
Just watch it again.
I'll
Anyway, if it's
I'll
nothing groundbreaking. I'm afraid all the updates today, nothing massively groundbreaking.
Yeah, it's a continuation of, I guess,
Turn the video off now.
So what you feeling? Should we talk a little Star Trek now, or what are we thinking?
Well, okay, we can talk Star Trek. I've seen most of Section 31. I think I've seen about 75% of it. Thanks to somebody that's a friend of the channel that works done work on sort of the technical side of the show, and they've been able to sneak me the bits that they've worked on. And I can tell you now, as you guys know, I was really excited about this. This is Michelle Yeoh. This is Empress Giorgio, my favorite character from Discovery. The only thing that made me even slightly not hate everything about Discovery. She was the one shining light in another plethora of shite. And she was brilliant in it. So I was really excited about this. Ask me if it's good or not.
I think I know the answer.
No. And now I'm going to put a preface on this, though, to say I've not seen the whole thing. There might be bits in the bits I haven't seen that make the bits I've seen make more sense. They better, because from the 75% I've seen, it doesn't make sense. I've seen over an hour, so I've seen a good chunk of this film. It doesn't make sense, right? But for one, it's supposed to be. I'm not going to do any spoilers, so I'm not going to tell you what happens or anything. So don't worry. But if you really don't like it when they sing in Star Trek, there are going to be bits of this you really don't like.
Ew.
I don't want to interrupt, but this is just too damn funny.
Tomb Raider. The special effects are better as well. But there are more layers to Tomb Raider. There's more going on. Right. So, all I'm going to say is the Section 31 movie should be dark and gritty and a bit of a spy thing. If you're, you guys out there that know your Trek, Section 31 is supposed to be this secret organization, intelligence organization within Star Trek, within the Federation, sorry. And they kind of do the stuff that the Federation can't do. So they're the ones being underhanded and sort of like assassination attempts and blah, blah, blah. It's all this sort of thing.
Damn.
Federation Black Ops.
They're Black Ops, yeah.
Okay. That
So,
yeah.
So whenever you see them, normally in Star Trek, they're wearing black. They've got their little black insignia, which is stupid because then somebody will just go, black insignia? You're Section 31. And they go, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Don't look at my insignia. Yeah, you are. You're Section 31. No, secret spy. Shut up. But anyway, they've got their secret insignia. The characters that are in the movie that are supposed to be Section 31 they were possibly dropped on their heads as babies, is probably the best way of putting on it. They're morons. It's particularly the one character. It's so stupid. The RoboCop character is idiotic in it. And it's basically not a dark, gritty spy thriller. It's a Michelle Yeoh movie. The producers have gone, we've got Michelle Yeoh in a movie. Yeah. Let's let her do anything she wants to do. And I think that's why we see a bit of singing. And it's like a Discovery episode in tone. It's very colourful. It's very bright. There's lots of action going on. It's all kind of cartoony. And yeah, it's not the turn in Star Trek I was hoping it was going to be.
Oof.
And David B's last comment should not be aired, but Dave, you're a very bad man.
I almost clicked it and I just realized what you said.
Don't put it on the thing. You're a very bad man. But yeah. So that's going to be out at the end of January anyway. January 24th, I think.
Did it feel as bad as that Michelle Yeoh Witcher prequel that came out?
That was awful, wasn't it? I think it's got a similar feel to that. Because remember, in the Section 31 was supposed to be a series, then it was supposed to be a mini-series, and then it's turned into a movie. And it's been rewritten like 3 times.
Ooh.
That's not
That's
a good
worse than Kenobi.
Yeah, and I think it's probably got a similar sort of feel to that prequel series she did, 18 months ago, whatever it was. That sort of it felt disconnected, but I haven't seen the whole thing, so it's hard for me to say. But what I've seen is disconnected, and it didn't fit together. And I genuinely, I can't tell. I've seen the end sequence, and I genuinely don't know why any of it happens. I'm watching it going, I don't get what just happened at all. So I'm missing something in the bit I haven't. Sorry, House.
Part of that 75% you've seen is the end as well.
Yeah, I've seen pretty much the entire final, the final 10 minutes.
Ooh, that's not good.
And I don't get it. We do get
to see more
a young
like
Giorgio.
Humorous instead of like,
Yeah,
I mean, you'd kind of want it to be like darker or whatever, right? Darker and serious, but it's not. It doesn't have that tone. Okay.
No, it's a comedy. It's slapstick almost. It's all that sort of thing. And a couple of the jokes hit. I remember when on more than one occasion I went. So I mean, that's for Star Trek humor. That's not bad. But yeah, I think a few people might be quite disappointed by this film because I am, from what I've seen. But I'm going to again say I've not seen all of it. It's not fully the version I've seen was still being worked on. It's not. It's an early version as well. It's a bit like when I saw Alien Romulus. I knew enough to go, yeah, this is good, but I didn't know quite how good because I hadn't seen sort of the sound and everything wasn't added to Romulus when I got to see an early version of that. But this is a more complete version of this I've seen. But I've only got to see the bits that they had access to, if you know what I mean. So it's not edited together, and so me saying the end doesn't make sense probably makes sense because I haven't seen say the 5-10 minutes that built up to it. So
okay.
So we got to give it a chance, and I'd still say I'm not going to sit here and say it's a load of rubbish. All I will say is I have lower expectations.
Mate, yeah. Well, hopefully it continues along that trend of doesn't know how good it is, and it ends up being even better than you expected, and it doesn't end up being like, oh, don't know how bad it is. It's this bad, you know? Does it have singing Klingons, though?
No.
Can you answer this question?
All right. All I'm going to say, no, I was going to say about the singing Klingons is, when you watch the film, you'll understand this next comment. It might actually be a bit worse. But I don't want to do spoiler. So when you see the movie, just remember back to this video and go, that's what he's on about.
Ooh.
You will.
Oh, somebody clip this out and let's stitch it in whenever it's time.
That's quite bad. But go on. What was that question? Sorry. You said there was a question.
Oh, my ADD self. You can't ask me that right after. it is capital gone. Well, I was comparing it to something. I don't know. That's just excuse me. It was the Coquelin question, the one I brought up. No, I thought I was trying to ask something. Talk about ADD. Surprise, surprise. Do we actually see Starfleet in the Section 31? That's all I'm asking. Can you get that up?
Not from what I've seen. Not particularly. Okay. A lot of it is set in basically a nightclub. And that's a lot of the early part. A lot of the early bit. Right. So again, another problem I think with this film is that they didn't have Michelle Yeoh for as long as they wanted. So a lot of the bits where you see Michelle Yeoh on the screen, when it's the back of her head, it's not actually her. So they were just acted, and they had to stand in, and then she just basically got on set when she could, and they just did all the Michelle Yeoh bits where you can see her, and then they filmed the rest of the film completely separately. But something else they do in this early start of the film is you see we can see that from the trailer. That's a young Giorgio. It's supposed to be about when the Empress, but that's a reasonably decent chunk of the start of the film. So again, there's not a lot of Starfleet in it from what I've seen, and I've seen a lot of the special effects bits. So you'd think if those starships and stuff, I'd have seen them. I'm actually trying to think if there's any. I think there's one or two. There's one or two bits, but not a lot.
I would have thought that would have been prominent in just about all Star Trek. You know,
it's not a Star Trek film. It's a Giorgio film. It's a Michelle Yeoh film. But don't think of it as a Star Trek film too much. I think you'll be disappointed going into it if you did.
So where's this one going to fit in my weird timeline of canon Star Trek?
Oh Christ! It fits.
Isn't she like timey-wimey?
It's around the prime timeline, I think. Oh Christ! I knew this. I had this conversation with the chap who sent it. I do remember. Oh, so it's already known where it fits in the timeline. I can't remember what it says now. I want to say I can't remember if it's the prime timeline or it fits disco timeline.
Oh, I feel like we had to ask Mark because Mark did tell us, didn't he?
Yeah.
He knew it like right off the top of his head.
Yeah, and I'm mixed up now because there's a couple of bits in the film that are a bit confusing, I have to admit, about timeline. I want to say it's the original disco timeline, which puts it before the original series.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Or it's prime timeline, as in Picard. It's one or the other. Somebody will have a look, but it has already been released when it is.
Yeah. Huh. Well, this comment just made me laugh.
Yeah.
This one definitely made me laugh.
I think I'm with you. I think I'm with you, the old Yorkshire geek. I think it's I think it's the 2300s. So it's before the original series.
Okay. So that's
I just said another thing.
I know some of these comments are great. This one cracks me up though, because if her younger counterpart's in it for a good chunk and she's not in it like 100%. Yeah, that seems kind of like the Witcher prequel where it felt like, all right, we got Michelle Yeoh. What can we do that she wants to do? And then they forget the rest of the story around it. But that's like the bulk of the story because Michelle Yeoh's there, but also she's the most expensive person there, so you're not using her in every scene. So
it's simply because she's so damn busy. It's not even a cost thing. It was just she had so many other projects on the go that they basically got this. And again, Paramount offered to let her out of the contract. They offered to say, well, we just won't do it then. And she was like, no, I'd love to do it. We just have to make it work. And so that's what they did. They just fit it around her contract. So she was literally like shooting across the studios. She's filming something one day, and then she comes over and does 2 days on Star Trek, and then she shot off again and did something else, and then she came back and did. So so it's just disjointed, I think.
Yeah,
it's quite common nowadays, apparently.
Well, it sounds like she's doing what was the other show? He was doing a show, Michael Douglas, whenever he was doing Marty McFly. Michael Douglas. I'm just saying names. It's early. The ADD's kicking in.
Marty McFly.
Marty McFly. But why can't I think of the dude's name right now?
Michael J. Fox.
Oh, the guy that played
Michael J. Fox. I got the Michael part.
Okay.
My bad. That was gonna kill me. Because what was he doing? The TV show that he was doing at the same time as he was shooting Back to the Future, that he would literally shoot Back to the Future during the day.
Yeah. It was the family show that he did, wasn't it? That he was in. Where he was the eldest son.
Michael Douglas. My bad, Monk.
Yeah, Michael J. Fox.
Family Ties.
Family Ties. Yeah, I'm too young for that, mate. To be honest, I didn't watch Family Ties here in the UK.
I never.
But yeah, he was doing like 20-hour days. Which they wouldn't let him out the deal.
Oh, it's insanity. And I get it. You want to be in as many fun projects as you can be in, but sleep. Michelle Yeoh needs to
Whose
sleep.
wife let Jay back on the stream? Popcorn. You don't know why I don't appear on streams. It might be because I'm actually a Section 31 agent and I've got, like shit to do. Or maybe I'm writing a Stargate. Yeah, maybe I'm writing a Stargate show for Amazon. You don't know.
Well, we know you're not a Section 31 agent. You don't have the black badge on your shirt, so.
Right.
I've got enough sense that it's tattooed on my tit instead.
Ooh.
I'm not stupid.
Not at all.
No, this is iced tea, by the way, Popcorn. It's not pints, it's iced tea. So I'm actually not allowed to drink at the moment. Fun fact.
Too good of a good boy then.
Yeah. Kill me now.
So what? We got Doku, we got Star Trek. You want to do a little Babylon 5?
And the Babylon 5 isn't really an update. It's just again a continuation. So apparently about 2 months ago, Amazon did start a little bit of a chat with Warner Brothers about potentially the Babylon 5 reboot that's been bouncing around for a little while now. The reboot that I all told you guys was not going to happen 8 months ago. It's still not going to happen. So apparently Amazon did go back to them, Warner Brothers, and there was conversations. They could never agree on budget. Babylon, they wanted it for freebie. But yeah, basically the update is, they talked about it. They got as far as talking about budget, and they've dropped it again. Nobody seems to want to do this, but I think I can kind of understand why, because again, like we've already mentioned, during the strikes, the world in Hollywood changed, and that's really Babylon 5 is another one, like the Battlestar Galactica reboot that was planned. It's fallen into that same category, that sci-fi shows are bloody expensive, and unless they're really confident they're going to do well, they're not getting any traction at the moment.
That is a shame. But also, I mean, JMS wasn't necessarily the nicest for a little bit there. So.
He was just a bit right. He was just not very nice to me. But to be fair, I was telling him that the show that he was desperate to get done wasn't going to happen. So to be fair, I'd have called me a TWAT as well.
Well, in the position he's in, he does not need to respond to tweets at that point in time. That he killed himself in that aspect of, hey, buddy, you're too good for this. It's definitely not the same, but it's like Cynthia Erivo getting upset over the Wicked poster. It's like, okay, this is a fan discussing something they're a fan of. If you're angry about it behind closed doors, be angry about it behind closed doors. It's not time to get on Twitter and start tweeting.
The only thing that annoyed me was, if he'd have looked into it, he'd have known that like 6 months earlier, I was the first one to say HBO weren't going to do it themselves, and they were going to try to sell it to other studios. Nobody else was saying that. That was just us saying that because it's what we were being told. I was then the first one to say that I was telling, even though it's still today listed as a CW show, I was telling people well over a year ago the CW weren't going to pick it up. And again, that thing. And I was telling people that a couple of studios had been approached, but they hadn't sent the scripts out yet. He came out and said, well, we're sending the scripts out now. And I was like, well, again, that's what I've said. I'd just gone that bit further of saying he said one of the studios had already come back and said no. I just happened to know that the other three were going to as well. So again, if he'd have thought about it, actually listened to what I was saying rather than just like, it's dead, it's not going to happen, and then going, oh, he's just some idiot on YouTube trying to get clicks.
Yeah.
Then he'd have twigged that actually what I was saying was 95% what he was saying. That's a bit that only a bit annoyed me. And then I was right. So sorry.
You're always right.
Yeah, not always. Oh God, no. Oh, I've got a few things wrong on this channel. Or things that I've said were definitely going to happen, and then studio bosses, or I've got things wrong a couple of times.
Well, a lot of time does tell. We say time will tell, but time does tell. And I guess this is one of those situations where time has played its course. Sorry, Babylon 5. Sorry, JMS, but hell, it happens. Come up with a new cool project. We don't need to reboot the same project 17 times over. Come up with something cool and new, JMS. Let's do it. Let's bring sci-fi. Let's herald back sci-fi into a new golden age. Come on.
Well, talking about that, he's done a script for Forbidden Planet with Warner Brothers.
That's right.
And James Cameron was involved. And JMS over the last year has been griping that this script is still sat on the shelves at Warner Brothers. They could just make it. It's ready to go. Blah 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 blah. James Cameron's involved. What he's missing again is, because we get to speak to people in the industry that understand these things. Warner Brothers don't solely own the rights to Forbidden Planet. MGM do too, and MGM actually produced the original movie. So the reason why Warner Brothers haven't made a Forbidden Planet movie from the script that they've got that was written by JMS and that James Cameron was involved in is because they can't. There is no deal in place for MGM. But we'll go into a little bit of the Stargate Sony Amazon update.
Okay.
Sony want to produce the Forbidden Planet movie with MGM, and apparently there are conversations with Warner Brothers as well to use the deal because they'd love James Cameron on board with that, obviously.
I mean, yeah.
And put his name anywhere near that, and you can double the amount of people who go and watch it. So that conversation apparently is going on, but it's not up to Warner Brothers. It's Sony, MGM, but Sony apparently want to produce it. They would actually be the people who filmed it. They would make the movie in cooperation with MGM and Warner Brothers. So that is happening, but that goes into the Sony Amazon deal that we've been talking about for a few weeks now.
That just adds another little cherry to everything, or maybe some sprinkles on there.
Well, we heard again in the week about the God of War project that Penguin and the Parker are involved in, that now Penguin and Parker aren't involved in, and that Sony are taking that project in a completely new direction. Apparently, they're still doing it, but they want to go a different way. I'm being told that's because of the Amazon deal. That actually Amazon are pushing for something a bit different with God of War and a much lower budget.
Lower budget? I was going to ask maybe larger scale, lower scale.
Yeah, much lower budget. I think it's like everything in Hollywood at the moment, mate. Everything is like, how do we knock 30% off that budget? How many times have you heard me say that in the last year? How do we knock 30% off this budget? And that is that's where they're going. And again, apparently Mark Fergus, Hawk Ostby. Apparently the walk away was mutual from what we were told. That it was both sides. Nobody was sacked. They just sort of went, we want to do this. Mark Ferguson, Hawk Ostby sort of went, well, we don't. This is not what we've been working on for 2 years, and they've walked away. It echoed what happened to Stargate with Mark Ferguson for me. That they kept messing him about, and at some point he just went, you know what, should we just walk away? And that seems to be what's happened again. So it does mean that Mark Ferguson and Hawk Ostby aren't busy. If they did want to do Stargate again, that's still their script that's knocking around, I'm being told. So it's still Mark Ferguson's script is the one that is still being passed around when people are talking about Stargate. But again, what we were told by somebody that's which I think I'm just going to say their expertise is Hollywood business management and sort of marketing and but more on a legal sort of side of things. And he sort of said the Sony Amazon deal is one of the worst kept secrets currently in Hollywood. Lots of people are talking about it, but nothing official. It's all hush hush. Lots of NDAs flying around, but people are talking about it. And this is basically what Amazon and Sony are going to want to do is announce this cooperation, this relationship that they're fostering. Sony are going to give up studio space to Amazon. There's going to be, but what basically they want to be able to do is then just like start just announcing big projects like boom, boom, boom straight away. So they want to be able to announce Bond. They want to be able to announce maybe Stargate. They want to be able to announce a couple of other things. The God of War new announcements or things might come into part of that. But also hope maybe Forbidden Planet and a couple of other things. So what they want to basically do is make a big splash with it.
That would a boys another like I know they've talked about doing other spinoffs. Would maybe something like that be in the talk or something like that?
I've heard a whisper about a boys movie, which would be based around the current characters from the series, doing sort of like a wrapping up movie. Is one thing I've heard. I don't think that's gone beyond more than, shall we do a movie? And I'm going, that's not bloody great. Let's do a movie. I don't think it's gone beyond that. I don't think there's a script. I don't think there's any hard plan for it. But apparently that's been sort of like knocked around. Let's knock this plan around the office, sort of thing. that could be something that would be announced as part of this deal. Maybe that there'd be. I mean, it's the biggest Amazon show, you could argue, in the last 10 years.
Oh, easy.
So,
Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power might have been the only thing that brought as many eyes or had the potential to bring that many eyes there, and it's just not had the same I guess, staying power as The Boys, which is weird for a Lord of the Rings kind of thing, but also The Boys is, especially those first 3 seasons, are.
Secondly, I think it would follow it. I think it would follow season 5.
Okay.
From what mine said, because I'm pretty sure season 5 is already sort of on its way, or in the works, sort of thing. So it'd be something that would be announced. If you're going to do a movie of that, what you do is you would be having all the marketing about season 5, and then you go and guess what, guys, we're doing a movie, and then that would be loads of excitement in the run up to season 5, wouldn't it? I think that's how they would try to do it. But also remember, if they decided to do a Boys movie now, it would probably take 2 years to even. Probably have to make 3 years till they got to Australia.
Well, my thought on it is you may as well try to get everybody to just extend their schedules and push back the projects that they have elsewhere and say, hey, spend an extra, maybe not 3 or 4 months, but spend an extra 2. We already have the sets built. We already have everything else here. You're already on set. Let's film a movie at the end of the season. Whoever's still alive, stay on set, kind of deal.
Well, I mean, I suppose it depends what they want to do. If they want to do a cinematic movie, they won't do that because it won't be the same sets. It won't be the same thing. That everything will be bigger, and it will be a movie. But if they do like a streaming movie, then it could basically be you just spend a little bit more money basically on a double episode, and you just put a little bit more. You take a bit longer, but you could do it basically film it straight off the back of season 5. You could just carry on and you do 6 months filming season 5, then you do say 4 or 5 months season doing the movie at the end. So I suppose it depends what they end up doing.
Well, I mean,
I don't think they've got anything like as far as even thinking about that.
They maybe not even they might not even have to go too much larger in scale. I mean, think about the new Hellraiser and the new Prey, the Predator movie come to mind, where people wanted both of those put to screen immediately, and they weren't all that expensive at the end of the day, and they were able to do them in a relatively small, not just budget, but locale wise. I mean, of course, Prey looks like you're always in these like Badlands doing all these cool things. They're not really filming on location for the majority of that, so maybe there's a way to do it, bridge the gap, not spend as much money, and utilize some of the money you had for season 5. I don't know. That'd be cool. But do you think with all these, December is a similar timeline that we could be looking forward to? Or
I think what the guy was sort of telling me was what he's trying to say was they won't announce anything until the bigger deals agreed, and this is a big deal. He says because there's no. I also said, look, I've been told Christmas for something, and he said, well, yeah, but how's the longest piece of string, because this has already been delayed on. They were talking about this 18 months ago, and then Sony thought, oh, maybe we'll buy Paramount, and then walked away, and now they've come back, and it's sort of like, okay, we're starting again, sort of thing. So he said, how long is this piece of string? This is the sort of thing that could be, they could break the back of it in 24 hours and go, this is the deal. Yeah, we're all happy, and everything just fits into place. Or they could argue about it for months. And Sony are notoriously difficult to negotiate with. But I don't think it's going to be the same. I think Sony are coming into this from a position of weakness. I think Amazon have got the power. Amazon are the ones that are sort of going, we can help you a lot more than you can help us.
Yeah, we can go find studios anywhere. It'd be nice if we teamed up a little bit, but yeah.
Sony have had a couple of bad years. It's not great. Sony don't have access to streaming, even though they have just signed a big deal with Netflix for the next. It is Netflix, I think. I'm pretty sure it's Netflix for a lot of their over the next 5 years. So a lot of their movies and things are going to be going to Netflix. But it isn't. It is only Sony only projects. It's not Sony. If they've done anything's done in cooperation with MGM, for example, it doesn't come under this deal, so it doesn't go on Netflix. It's only Sony doing their own. So yeah.
Am I wrong to think Sony does Ghostbusters?
I think Sony do Ghostbusters.
Okay, I thought so. Would that be under that Netflix deal? Because aren't they doing a Netflix show with Ghostbusters on there? Okay, so that they're almost doing a similar thing with Netflix.
Yes,
more Harold.
But then like the Sony Boys thing, if they did a Sony Boys movie, that wouldn't come under the Netflix thing. You got to remember also about the Boys maybe doing a movie after season 5 is streaming series tend to be 5 seasons nowadays, even if they're popular. 10 episodes, 5 seasons.
Breaking Bad really set that model.
Yeah. So, and leave people wanting more. I think they've learned over the years when you've done things like Lost and stuff and people got really lost, that saying, that if you want a show to have legs and to live in people's memories, do less and leave them wanting more. But also, if we're honest, there's loads of like business reasons why it's a good idea as well, because of like contracts and things. Shows get really expensive in their 6th and 7th seasons.
Yeah, they do.
So
I think it's it depends on the contract, of course, but it's typically every 2 to 3 years you have to revamp your actors and pay them.
So they generally sign a 3-year deal at first. So generally going into the 3rd to the 4th season tends to be when it gets expensive. And then, as you said, they tend to then have a 5th season, and then they tend to have to renegotiate again. And that's when you either have to sign people on and it gets bloody expensive, or you have to mix the cast up. And how many times have we seen that and it's just not worked?
It's
we got a new lead star, and it's just nobody likes them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, George R.R. Martin always wanted 13 seasons of Game of Thrones. But I can name about a 20-person main cast reason why that didn't happen. Because,
everybody wanted 10 times more. Everybody would have wanted.
By the end of it, they were all getting $600,000 an episode, $800,000 or $1 million an episode, and sure, that makes sense for that big of a show. Like Big Bang Theory, everyone gets $1 million an episode, rightfully so. There's 4 or 5 of you.
Yeah.
There's 20 main cast in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's never going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, a show like The Boys doesn't work without Homelander. It just doesn't. It doesn't work without
Butcher.
There's Butcher and it just doesn't work. But also, I think there's just an understanding as well that certain shows, particularly like that, there's only so far you can go, and then you've got to do the spin-offs, you've got to do the things because you've got to expand that universe and franchise. Everything's got to be a freaking franchise. But 5 seasons is about right, and then you mix it up and you move on to something else, and you do, and then it stops it getting stale. It stops it getting thing. How many series have you watched and you think, oh, it was brilliant until about the 5th season, then it just went downhill. Then it might have picked up again towards the end, but
what'd you say about Dexter?
Wait, Dexter, what? Yeah, exactly. Well, no, it's a good example. It's a really good example. Season, it did really dip, but then it bounced back, and the last couple of seasons are great. But
when they ended the way they ended. Ugh.
So I think there's a good business model that sort of makes sense, is why they might do it. But yeah, I think the movie would be a good way of like ending the Boys saga, and then bouncing on to something else.
Well, because they already have a ending written, like Brett saying. Is this your Brett, Sarah?
Yes, it is.
Hell yeah, howdy, Brett. But yeah. No, that's exactly I think what we're looking for is just have that succinct ending and not just
There was always a plan for the Boys. There is a story arc. They've wandered off it from time to time, I believe, but there is a story arc.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know we've kept you probably 15 past the hour, so
yes.
You need to start running.
I have an ongoing promise to my wife that I won't do more than an hour.
Well,
and guys, I love you guys, but I get you all know I won't very well, and I just can't stare at the screen for long periods.
You mean it's not healthy to just stare at screens?
Yeah, I'm staring at the screen right now, and because of my glasses, I can't actually see it. But I have to sort of do that because it's so close, and they're very focals, so I have to do that to be able to read.
How many fingers are we holding up?
Soldier Boy spin-off. The actor that does Soldier Boy's already been signed up to something else, so I don't have that.
Well, he is signed up for he's Soldier Boy in the spinoff with Aya Cash as Stormfront. So we'll be seeing plenty of Jensen Ackles.
Yep.
All I understand all that Tomb Raider watching.
Yeah, that's maybe why do you think I need glasses in the first place?
Rider.
I was like, where is this gonna go? Oh, there we are. That's too good. Okay, before we head out, Jamie, what have you seen this week?
I've got one other thing just to think that actually I'm going to be on Code Clutch's channel, I think, sort of later in the week. He's invited me on because his channel has now about 5 years they've been going. They're about to do their 200th episode, and they've asked us if I'd like to go on and sort of just like talk about sci-fi in the last 5 years. So keep an eye open for that. We'll get Code Clutch to send us a link when it's done, and we'll share it. And so I'm going to make a terrible show much better just by appearing, because nobody likes that channel. It's rubbish, but don't worry, I'm here to help. So no, they've got like literally 3 times the subscribers we do.
And they're fun as hell.
Yeah, they're fun as hell. But better with me. It's just like, you know, nothing's better with me. Even my wife, when I comes home, goes, the house just got less good because I got home. My dog is the only person that's happy to see me. I swear.
You know what I didn't realize until the other day, just while we were talking about Miss K herself. Y'all together are J and K, which is hilarious itself. But that's Men in Black. Y'all are Men in Black together. Are you actually Section 31 in a weird way? What are you doing here? I'm terrified now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh dear. Come try it. And yes, Harris, you are welcome to join as well, apparently.
Oh hell yeah.
I thought it was just me. I thought they loved me, but no, apparently you're welcome as well. So the brains and the beauty, apparently.
6, 8 times the subs. Hey, brains, come in here real quick. The math was a little much.
170,000 subs. When I first met them, they barely had 100.
Well, they're moving and grooving.
Yeah. Don't ask them how they do with like monetizing their channel though, because Coquelin will cry.
I'm sure they have Patreon.
They should have Patreon, shouldn't they?
If they don't, Michael, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. Anyway, it's lovely to see you guys. Thank you for giving the time to share all the. I could throw my notes away now that I've been saving for 2 weeks. I did say everything, didn't I?
I think so.
SciTrek, blah blah 5.
Yeah. Before you head out, can you tell us what you watched for the week, or if you did watch anything?
All I'm watching is Lincoln Lawyer. Because season 3 came out, and I hadn't seen season 2, so I've had to smash through season 2. But I did watch Prey yesterday for about the 9th time. Because I was explaining to my mate how brilliant it is. And then he went, yeah. And I explained it to him, and they went, I'm going to go and watch it now. So I watched it yesterday afternoon. With a blinding headache. Don't do it with a blinding headache on drugs. Bits of it are a bit weird if you're really high on, like, Oromorph.
Weird or better? Interesting.
Just weird.
Okay.
You're just sort of like, why is that predator killing a snake? I could kill a freaking snake. And you get angry at it. But then it got better. And then like, oh, little doggy bite the big bad predator. Little doggy.
I do have a funny story I'll have to tell you off air at some point. You said the snake. Just remind me snake like that. And I'll tell you this story.
But yeah, that's all I've done this week. I've not had much time for watching television, I'm afraid. But I did watch Prey yesterday. Oh, what did I watch? I'm lying. I did watch something that was really good. There's a Sky Cinema movie over here about vampires called The Randleys. I watched that last night. Really good.
Okay.
Damian Lewis stars.
Oh, hell yeah.
And he plays 2 characters. He's like a good vampire, and then his twin brother's the bad vampire. And the good vampires are trying to live like humans, and then the bad vampire turns up, and he's sort of like, oh, let's be like, and let's eat people. It's just really good. But it's like,
I remember seeing that trailer.
Yeah, it's really good. But you know, it's like just Damian Lewis, isn't it?
Oh yeah, no, that's him. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
ginger fella.
Band of Brothers.
Oh, he's a phenomenal actor, but it's if you imagine the sort of projects you've seen him in the past, remember he did that Stephen King movie years ago, and Timmy Oliphant was in it as well. It was about aliens and what the fuck was that called? Stephen King movie's phenomenal, and he's great in that as well.
Dreamcatcher.
Sorry?
Dreamcatcher?
Yeah, Dreamcatcher. Thank you, Brett.
Brett for the win. You know?
Husbands. Fuck, we should get him on.
Probably should.
But yeah, Dreamcatcher's phenomenal. So I think those lines about the portrayal and things. But yeah, it's very good. I enjoyed it greatly.
Yeah. And
Brett
we talked
doesn't
about
want
it before stream. You got to catch up to some Only Murders in the Building. It's just so good.
I'll go watch it now. And do you know one just thing about your husband, Sarah?
Yes.
Nobody in America is called. Nobody in Britain is ever called Brett. If anybody was called Brett, they would be actually kicked out of the country, and we'd send them to you. So he might have been even born in this country and just got like kicked out. Nobody's called. I've never ever met a Brett in my life. Oh no, I met one, and he was a sleazy little git. Actually, he was horrible. Turd. I'm sure your Brett's nicer than that, though.
Yeah, he is mostly. No, he is.
Pretty cool. Brett the Brit would be hilarious, though.
Yeah, that's what we're
That sounds like a bit.
As soon as you try and go on holidays to British Brett, they go, Brett, get out. No one's called Brett. British people. You Americans. The old
Before you head out, Donnie was saying howdy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Donnie was saying howdy. Just saw that. He just started commenting and asking some questions.
Very cool.
But yeah, thank you for all the crazy information, Jay. I need to tell you that snake story.
Okay, message me later.
Kick out of it.
Lovely to see you again, Sarah. Young lady.
Yeah.
Lovely to have you. Now, I'm going to leave you guys, and the pretty people will be left. Disgraceful. Well, the pretty Americans and the British person with a potato head and ugly teeth is going to go, and I'll leave the pretty Americans.
The brains and the I guess I was called beauty, but then down here we get both at once. We get our own Samantha Carter, so she replaces a little bit of everything. It's awesome.
I suspect Sarah's got more brains than Harris. Bye.
I need to go blonde, I guess.
I'm paid to say things. Toodles.
See you guys.
Finally. Okay, no.
We're free.
We can do anything now. I missed the whole info part. There's always a good rewind, David. 1 second. I know Donnie was asking us a question. Thoughts about the Power Rangers auction that's already in progress? I was not aware there was an auction. Zat him. Ooh. 1 second. I do need a Zat. That's the perfect timing. Great job. You're better at remembering this than me, Arnold. Was that Arnold? That was Arnold. Yes. Technology. That took me 30 clicks to get the right click. I was like, where am I going?
I know. I was like, are you going to get to it? You're like, click, 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 click.
I was trying. It's so confusing. Dad's gone. It's time to party. Yeah. It cracked me up. I love David. Jamie already did his pre-recorded questions, I guess, for this Tuesday for Colin. And he starts off with, I'm the father of SciTrek. I was like, yes. That was like, that's the best way to say it. Because I was literally going to introduce him as that in the way, like whenever I have to do that little segue part of the interview, my plan was like introduce, probably Jamie first, do like father, founder of SciTrek, et cetera, et cetera. It literally did it for me. I love it. But y'all got y'all's questions in first, so y'all are in.
Right. And hopefully I'll get those recorded today. I'm a little nervous about it, but it's right. Because I've never done that before. So,
me either. I'm terrified, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm
sure he'll be fun.
Phone calls with him.
Yeah.
He seems like a cool dude.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, all of his characters are. So,
yeah.
David, I know I keep wearing them. We are figuring out that at the moment. We're trying to figure out making SciTrek a little more official in the sense of the way the government looks at us, I guess, is the easiest way to say that, because we're official in our own ways.
Right.
But, you know, we need to be official in their eyes before we can actually, like, start selling stuff again. But we would love to do that. Chunk boxers. That's great.
I know. I need some merch. I gotta, represent here on the channel.
I know. It's been almost probably 10, 11 months since the merch it started having troubles, technical troubles, and I guess we decided it was easier to take it away, and now it's not easy to bring it back. So the bringing it back part is the hard part.
Mm-hmm.
Self-identifying as official is the only way to go. You know, we're professionals around here. Self-identified. Have you seen Alien Romulus yet? Jay mentioned it and indicated it was great. We really enjoyed it.
Yes,
Sarah?
I have seen it. And it was awesome. I loved it. I can't wait to watch it again. I was just thinking yesterday, is it out on digital yet? I don't know. As soon as it is, I got to get it and watch it. I don't know when it comes out or if it is.
I think it actually came out today or yesterday, because I swear I saw a tweet about it.
Okay. That's weird. I was thinking that, and then
the universe speaks sometimes through Sarah. They speak through you.
Yes, of course. I did finally get through Rebel Moon. And
all of it?
Yes, all of it. The director's cut. I'm not going to go back and watch the other one. I'm just doing this one time. I got through it. It wasn't as horrible as everybody was making it out to be. I mean, it's kind of boring. And I don't like that Zack Snyder likes to do that kind of washed out, like brown color everything. I don't really particularly care for that. For the most part, it was okay. It was boring for the most part. I did think whoever that being was that they had imprisoned, that was that woman the giant woman that they were drawing power from or whatever. And
is that the second one or the first one?
It's in both of them. The giant creature that's part of the ship, the woman that's like has all the
almost the sarcophagus looking thing.
Right, but it's actually a being, like a female being, and when she went to go blow her up, she had that vision of the woman like breaking out of her restraints or whatever and saying that like it's okay, that I understand why you have to kill me and my sisters are going to come back for their revenge or whatever. And I was like, oh, I want to know more about what that is.
Yeah. I still haven't watched the second one.
You have? Then you don't know. Okay.
Director's cut.
But anyway, that's probably like the coolest part of the movie is like whatever that story is, that they don't really get into what that is. But I mean, clearly this was made as a setup for, I don't know, doing a series or another movie, because it's kind of leaves you hanging on the end there. But with how much everybody hates it, I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
But yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It just, I didn't like really the visual tone, color, whatever you call that, the aesthetics of it. But it was okay. It was just kind of boring. And some of the dialogue, the script could have been better. It was a little not greatest writing. And there were some inconsistencies with like, is it Cora? Is that her name? The main woman character? Cora. That she didn't, when that admiral guy, when they brought him back from the dead or whatever, she was like surprised that happened. And it's like, you grew up in that world. Like you didn't know that? I mean, I don't know. Anyway, whatever.
Specifically, this dude would be the one they bring back. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I'm in the camp that Snyder isn't a bad director. Just somebody else write his scripts.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm with you as well on whenever I did watch at least the first one. I haven't seen the second one at all, I guess, but I have seen the first one in its director's cut. whenever I watched it without the director's cut, I did not like the movie. Whenever I watched it with it, it's not that I liked the movie; it just made sense that time. But it was like you're saying, it's just a sloggish kind of. Oh, okay, I've seen this before. It's pretty cool. It is pretty cool, but I've seen it before. It's
it wasn't anything original, and it seemed to blend a lot of different things. Very heavily, obviously, like World War II with the Empire or whatever. What was the main group called? The Empire, the Kingdom, whatever it was.
I don't know. Just the Imperium or something like that. Yeah. Rebel Moon, sponsored by Grain.
Right.
Sounds about right. Bland talk, space filler script. It really was. It really was. It sucked.
Yeah.
And for that aspect of it, because it has a cool enough concept where even if it does borrow from all these different freaking other movies, you can make a really good movie out of it. Like Star Wars is Seven Samurai, Fern Gully, and half these other different just classic hero stories, your hero's journey, just tossed in there.
Yeah,
I don't know. He could have done it. Like Monk's saying, early Snyder, 300 Watchmen, etc. Fantastic.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I think it was Man of Steel. I really think it was Sucker Punch that started his downward trend, but he had Watchmen after that, which was good. I think Watchmen was after that.
They're close around the same time, I think, aren't they? Yeah. I like Watchmen a lot.
I love Watchmen.
Yeah. That was sort of like the first real good superhero movie, wasn't it? Or one of the first ones? Was that even before
no, I think it was 2009.
Okay. It was right around the time Iron Man. I think Iron Man came out
2009. Okay.
Yeah.
And Sucker Punch was 2008.
Yeah.
So he swung and missed in 2008 and swung again in 2009 and did well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's so good. It's still in probably my top 5 comic book movies ever. I don't know if I want to read the name, but Suki has sent us $2. Thank you, Suki. Sarah is gorgeous with a capital G and Q as in cute. You've got a fan base. Correct. Sucker Punch was 2008. And now, watch out, Suki. Brett's going to come find you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. There's 3 different people I bet you that is, and I just can't guess which one it is off the top of my head because I don't see the other names here, Oh, that's good. Creative is there, but execution on his films lacks for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. There's some other good ones, but that was not your first.
Well, kind of the modern superhero movies, yeah,
because it wasn't even Dark Knight
ever. Obviously, they've always been, but yeah.
Because Dark Knight's 2008 as well, and that is very much so.
Right.
We're superheroes, but in the real world, and now we're finally getting Watchmen we're in a world of superheroes, not the same ones where you
it's made for adults, not just children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was good, so good. It was really funny. While my mom was in town this past week, she mentioned a Rorschach test, or she was like a Rorschach test, and I was like Rorschach. Just immediately my brain goes to the character.
Yeah, well, that's the same thing, right? Isn't that his name? Because his mask.
Oh yeah, no.
Face mask does those whatever that's called, the ink. What is it? The
ink splots.
Yeah.
It's my favorite mask of any.
I love that scene where he's like, you're trapped in here with me. I love this.
Not the other way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now I'm gonna have to watch that movie again. I own it. I gotta watch it.
Jackie Earle Haley is underrated, criminally underrated, and he spends that entire movie with that Rorschach mask on too. So you can't even tell it's him.
And he's still good with the mask on the whole time.
Still. I mean, he's got a great cast. Oh, I don't remember the guy that plays Ozymandias off the top of my head, but I mean, He's got Patrick Wilson and a great remainder of the cast to bounce off of.
Right.
And, they could have just hired some no-name to put in there. And Jackie Earle Haley's not like the biggest name in the world, but damn, he brought it to the table. Matthew Good. Thank you, Brett. Brett's the best. He's on it.
My husband's bringing it today.
He's your computer guy right behind you, like in the other part of the house. Just ready.
Yeah, he's downstairs sitting at his computer.
You took his COVID office, so now, excuse me,
yes.
the Rona office. I try not to say that word. Because they like to demonetize the word.
Yes, I stole my husband's desk.
I love it.
Because I have like a little private space. I don't know what is going on with like my camera and the lighting today. I'm sorry that it's been all like wacky, but I don't know what's going on.
Literally happens. I almost did this at the beginning like a bunch of times. Actually, I kind of like that better. I should have done that at the beginning.
Yeah.
You never know. Well, unless you try it, and I didn't try it. Oops.
Yeah.
You need a new ZPM. Oh, I'm gonna. Dying. Not as much as I was, thankfully.
Just that last bit of gunk that doesn't want to go away.
That's it. I mean, I haven't been this sick ever. I don't think I've ever actually been sick for 2 weeks at a time.
Right.
But also,
you gotta get those emergency packets and start drinking those.
I've got like 15.
It helps get rid of. I've had that where it like hangs on and it seems to help. So.
Yeah, because I felt fine for a week. It's just that right in there, Did you ever watch the Watchmen TV show though?
What TV show?
The Watchmen show?
No, I didn't. I got to see that, I guess.
You and Brett.
Oh no, I did. No, that's right. I forgot the HBO one with what's her name in it. Yeah, no, yeah. No, I did see that. Sorry, I was thinking something else. Okay, I did see it. Yes. Yeah, that was really awesome. I especially love how they, that Oklahoma City thing that like nobody knew about. Was it Oklahoma City where there was the Black Wall Street that they show at the, Yeah. I thought like, why are we just learning about? It's like why isn't this like a part of? I mean, I guess we know why it's not part of history class or whatever. But I was like,
but it
wow.
Should be.
I was like, this is like. Wow, that's what it is. Yeah.
Popcorn, you think the TV show went south fast? I thought the entire season was excellent.
Yeah.
The episode Ozymandias itself, the episode Ozymandias in Breaking Bad is one of the best episodes ever. But what is the episode it focuses on the character Ozymandias in this, in The Watchmen. Hold on, let me just look up the title episodes real quick. It's one of the best episodes of TV ever written. Episode list. Oh, that's right. It was season 1, episode 8. A god walks into a bar. It's not a bar because it was Dr. Manhattan's original name was A-Bar in this depiction. So it was a god walks into a bar. So amazing. It's so good. Don't let me piddle you on your parade. If you love the show, then that's excellence for both of you. Oh, of course. Of course. I'm surprised because it's so solid. People see things differently, of course. People loved Madam Web. And I don't know how many people actually did, but those people hurt my soul.
I don't want to watch it after all the stuff I hear about it. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to watch it. Anyway.
It really isn't as bad as you'd think it would be. And then you get... Well, it's not good by any means either. Adam Scott, his scenes are actually good. Adam Scott really brings some stuff to the table. And even, Dakota Johnson's a great actress. And whenever she's going against Adam Scott in there, and she's got him to work off of, they're great. But whenever it comes to the Madam Web stuff, ooh, there we go. But realistically, it's the villain is the bad thing. The dude in there, his ADR, like additional dialogue after the fact, totally doesn't match up with his mouth once in the movie. Like it is the ADR in Madam Web. Thank you, Oliver. Like it is so bad. As I was speaking about it, Oliver's just typing. He's like, it's ADR 80. Oh, it's astonishingly
Right.
awful.
Like last minute, like, night before. Oh, we got to switch that. Okay. Well, it doesn't match. Whatever. We got to.
It feels like 30 minutes before they sent out the copy of Madam Web to all the theaters. They were like, hey, I forgot the actor's name, but hey, come over and just redo all of it real quick. It's no one, Madam Web. Poor screenplay. Brett said y'all are not watching it.
Yeah.
Morbius 2, it's more. Oh, God. And Morbius is one where, you know what, Madam Web is not as bad as it is accredited as being. It is like Brett said, a poor screenplay, and that is its biggest fault. But Morbius really, you can see a not like the best screenplay ever, but you can see a decent screenplay inside of what was given. You can just tell that it was kind of, I don't know a better term, but kind of bastardized in a way where they just were like, oh, wait, this story's gone. This part of this story is gone. And you just have the remainder of a skeleton. It's almost like you found a skeleton after this tomb's been raided for the last 2 centuries. And, okay, well, we've got a couple femur bones left and a spine and a skull. That's a person,
I haven't seen it, so I gotta, I come on here and then I'm like, oh my gosh, there's like a million things I haven't watched that I should watch.
Don't ever let it daunt you, because I haven't seen Star Trek or Doctor Who, and those are kind of staples, and I'm working on it. I wanted to get to more Star Trek this week, but I've got to do my Colin Cunningham research, y'all. We've got to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
So
you're doing an actual, like, in person, right? So
in
that's
person,
cool.
yeah.
So that's
really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's at Greg's place as well, which is really nice. Greg, of course, our Fallout guy himself, and plenty of other things. He operates multiple theaters in town, and him and Jen are letting us, his wife, are letting us use their space Tuesday morning for it. So that's good. I really like that because I directed a play in there last summer. So it's like, okay, I'm familiar and I'm comfortable with the space. Hop in there. Don't get too excited that you're hanging out with some Stargate people real quick, and be a person. Ask questions about the movie he's making real quick. He Never Left comes out November 5th, y'all, and it's good. It's fun. He has described it as a fun B-level indie movie, and it might be that. But it's got A-level acting, so it's worth it. It's worth it. So Spaceballs 2 is in progress. I hope so. It's a Frankenstein of 3 different comic book stories. Definitely. And it could have been better. The Tyrese stuff in there could have been better. But Spaceballs 2 should have made a cameo in the Orville.
I should watch the first one again. It's been a very long time.
That would be a fun thing. We could do like a big old group watch party or something on, because I guess it's on Amazon, so we could do their little Amazon watch parties and do.
Yeah, it would be, I guess. Yeah.
That'd be an easy way of doing it. Yeah, that'd be fun. Whenever the movie actually comes out, we know they're working on it.
They're working on a lot of stuff. Anyway, hopefully something starts happening instead of all this. They're doing this. They're going to do that. Maybe they'll do this. Maybe they'll do that. Maybe Sony's going to, it's like, okay, can we just actually have something happen? Would be nice.
I don't have a better example, and this one's probably not the best to use, but I'll use it anyway. It's like my sister's baby daddy. It's I'm a gonna, and never does a single damn thing. But I'm always gonna.
Yeah.
Just do it. Yeah. But yeah, I'm still surrounded by assholes. I really want to see the Mel Brooks History of the World Part 2. I just haven't taken the time to watch it yet.
Yeah, I haven't. As a kid, I loved the first one. I thought that was hilarious. But anyway, I just remember liking that as a kid.
Literally as we said it. Brett's saying the streaming apocalypse starting to end. Fingers crossed. Do you agree?
I'm not streaming apocalypse. My husband is saying this. I'm not sure what he's talking about. Anyway, what do you mean streaming apocalypse?
I guess the
I'm not sure.
the,
Okay.
The lack of quality, I guess, would be the easiest way to say that.
Just that there's so much like overload of streaming shows. Yeah, I think that's definitely going to go down.
Almost like they're just throwing that spaghetti at a wall, hoping it sticks.
I think they're realizing that quality matters. So I think they're understanding that people just don't want like, oh, another superhero. You know, it's like, no, we got to do stuff that means something that people will get invested in. Yeah.
Yeah, he clarified a little bit, said the fallout of the streamers overspending. Which is that, literally overspending on just tossing things.
Yeah, and now a lot of them are in, you know, trying to figure out how to turn that around. Like, you know, Paramount, well, I guess Paramount, they sold the Skydance or whatever. So
Paramount actually turned it around. They're the ones that are actually profitable for a quarter, actually, which good on them somehow, some way. It took a little bit, but shoot. Because that's the thing, streaming just hasn't been profitable for anyone, and as much fun as it is to have this just service of just whatever we want to watch whenever we want to watch it kind of deal, it's not realistic in a lot of ways.
The bummer is there's a lot of maybe like small filmmakers that were given a chance to make a movie that now that's not going to happen, so that's kind of a bummer. But who knows, maybe with the quality thing, they'll start looking at some of those smaller films and do those too. But
hopefully with the overspending aspect of it, I mean, smaller budget things have to be made again. And hopefully that will allow some of those smaller filmmakers that were getting chances to continue to get chances, and hopefully new ones as well. The one hope that I have is that this brings the world of short films kind of back, because the streaming stuff has totally taken short films out of whack, where short films are where filmmakers go to prove their mettle, you know, like this is what I can do, this is what I got. It's 4 minutes, let me do 40, let me do an hour 40, and something like that, you know. Fingers crossed, because it would be nice. And if they're going to lower the budgets, like we've talked about on here, is the Creator was the perfect example of 80 million make a $400 million looking movie, or not Monarch, Godzilla -1. There we go. $13 million for that. Insane. Let's hope that they take that route with more.
Well, sometimes I think the lower budgets kind of force creativity in a way, because it's like, well, we got to figure out how to do this with this amount of money, rather than just like, oh, we'll just have some CGI effects company make this thing, and maybe it'll look okay and maybe it won't. And just
we'll just give it to them 3 weeks before the movie's done, just to shoot out as fast as possible. You would hope with those smaller budgets that it does that. It forces your hand for creativity, where for that, how we do it, I mean, it's how they do it is going to be different. It's going to force their hand creatively, but whenever that how is asked in that sense, they have to ask why they do it as well, which pertains to story, which makes the whole thing just make more sense at the end of the day. And quality, boost that quality. You know. Okay, we've hit an hour and a half. I'm down to hang as long as you feel, because I know we start talking and we'll hang out for an extra hour.
I think for a little bit longer, not too much.
Okay. Chris Duckman's film comes out soon too. Excited for that. I am as well. I am disappointed that Chris Duckman has started not saying anything negative about any of his.
What movie is this?
His movie is called. Remind me, Monk. It's it's right on the top of my tongue. Tip of my tongue. It's 2 words. It's something. Like, you know, it's like a apostrophe s something. Monk, help me out there. But Chris Duckman, him and Jeremy Johns have always been probably 2 of my top film reviewers that I've always watched and gravitated towards. Shelby Oaks, thank you. So it was not an apostrophe s something, but it was 2 words. The S was at the beginning. Shelby Oaks. It'll be kind of like Colin Cunningham's new movie. It'll be a lower budget indie horror film,
Right.
like a B horror, but apparently it is very well done. Made. Hoping it's good.
Maybe I'll watch it. I'm not a huge thing of horror. It depends on what it is. You know what I mean? Like Get Out. I loved that movie.
Okay, so
you know that kind of horror where it's not really like gory. Super evil scary. It's more just like a thriller scary, I guess.
Yeah, thriller or like a conceptual horror, maybe
like the Saw movies were okay. Like the first one, I haven't seen like all of them.
There's a lot.
You know, it just depends. But like, oh God, what was that movie? Event Horizon. It came out like in the mid 90s. I went and saw that. I thought, oh, a sci-fi movie. I had no idea going in what it was. And so like, you know, I went and watched that and had to sleep with like the light on for 2 weeks. Just like, and I was like, you know, in my 20s at the time. So I'm like, yeah, I don't want anything like that.
Yeah. So I mean, you're a sci-fi person, so kind of cosmic horror is good, huh?
It depends, you know, it just depends, you know, and then it's hard going in, you know, like when Aliens came out, I didn't see it because I thought it would be too scary, which is laughable now that I've watched the Alien movies. It's like not really even like I love the Alien franchise now.
So good.
You know, so like that's okay. It's just it's hard to know going into a movie where that level is. Is it going to be too much for me, or is it going to be okay? You know, I don't know. It just depends. You know, just
I would avoid Brandon Cronenberg because he's sci-fi,
right?
It's a good story quick. Not as gory as Terrifier 3. Y'all are never watching Terrifier, and y'all have, or not Terrifier 3. I was reading 2 at a time.
Yeah.
No I can't even. Hellraiser 3, LOL. I started barking like a dog in the middle of that.
Terrifier, the ones with that clown.
Yeah, Art the Clown.
Yeah.
I've only seen part of the first one, and it's
right.
They're not good. People are like, they're really good little B horror. They're not good movies, but they're fun. But it's gore.
If you're into that thing, yeah, I probably would not. Yeah, but I mean, I get why, you know, there's people that are like into that and enjoy it. I'm just not one of those people. You know, so
Alien 3 is still a tough watch, though. Alien 3's got some wild things.
Yeah, but even that, I'm okay with that. That's okay.
Oh, okay. Real quick, spoiler. I will spoil. I'll Rings of Power. I don't know if most of us have watched it yet.
I've watched. I haven't seen the last episode yet, but I'm fine with spoilers. It's all right.
Are you positive?
Yes.
Okay. I actually just watched these yesterday. I was like, if Stormy is coming on, because I expected Stormy, I was like, we're gonna be able to talk about it finally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of glad we didn't talk about it because it did not. It ends. It's so much better than season 1. It is.
Yeah. No, I'm like bummed. I mean, already watching it, I'm like, oh, there's not going to be. I mean, I'll watch it. I'll probably watch. Maybe I'll finish it today or tomorrow. But yeah.
I won't. It's just underwhelming as can be. But it's something. It's there. But okay, so here we are. Quick little spoiler for Rings of Power, so don't read on. Can someone tell me? Oh, you don't want me to read this on? Is someone doing this for you? I guess I already announced that I was doing it, so here we are. Should have read past just the ROP aspect and the Gandalf. Can someone tell me how Gandalf got his name in Rings of Power? Because that was shite. He remembered it.
I thought he was supposed to. I know people were all excited that maybe he was a blue wizard and blah. No.
Okay. It would have made so much more sense. So much more sense.
Well, they had to everybody knows who Gandalf is, so we got to put that in there, you know. And I see people don't know. The average person never heard of the blue wizards and whatever. They don't, you know. So I think they felt maybe originally was that, but then they thought, well, nobody's going to know. Anybody who's only watched the movies isn't going to know what that is. So they just decided, well, let's give them what they know.
Well, the sad part is it was never the Blue Wizards.
Right.
Because on Nerd of the Rings,
you're right.
Great channel, shout out old Nerd of the Rings over there.
Mm-hmm.
He interviewed J.D. Payne and John McKay and Payne, the two the showrunners.
Mm-hmm.
They said in that interview that they did not know who the wizard was, who Gandalf was, who the Wandering Wizard was,
right,
going into season 2, which means they decided it somewhere along the way,
right,
and that hurts my soul.
Yeah,
that hurts.
I know. They visually did it very well. It was a beautiful show. I mean, the makeup was good, the costuming was good. The sets and the effects are pretty good for what it is. It's hard to do Tolkien because it's just such a rich thing with so much, with the built-in history and lore, and there's just so much. And it's it's got to be hard to do that well, but I think they could have done better.
I applaud the two of them for trying it and pitching themselves in all of it.
Mm-hmm.
But they have done themselves career-wise a huge disservice and done every single person that's ever read a single word off a Tolkien page a disservice by doing the series as their very first series ever. Go do another series and then come back and pitch it again. Because this wasn't necessarily on people's radars. They pitched it. So maybe just hold off on pitching it. Go find another show, pitch that show, do that show for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, whatever. And then come back when you're more prepared to make the series and do that. Because
have Peter Jackson involved. How about that?
Yeah, I think that has some issues rights-wise and stuff like that. A little tough to convey the hierarchy from the Silmarillion in a show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they could do it. They could do it. They've shown you how to do it. I think they've shown us how to do it. They have just chosen the wrong scenes. When you're writing a script of whatever it may be, you're writing things in scenes. Now you can approach it. I don't know what their actual background is, what else they've written besides this. I don't know if they've written anything besides this. But whenever you're writing a script, everything's approached in scenes. A script for TV and film needs to be able to tell a full story. Where this one, I had a buddy of mine who saw me watching the first couple episodes whenever they aired, and it just took me a little bit to catch up because they just didn't garner my attention all that much. But he pointed out a great thing was this feels like cutscenes from video games, and it totally does. And I feel like well, the biggest issue is you totally. I don't want to spoil it for you. This happens a couple times throughout the battle, and if you're in episode 7, they're in that big battle that lasts a couple episodes at this point. Right. But you're missing the actual battle. They just go cut to a conversation that's happened after a big chunk of this battle most of the time, and that happens over and over again. Where we're doing video game dialogue here. We're video game cutscenes where we're picking up right after something interesting has happened. But because we're not playing the video game, we didn't get to do the fun level where fighting through the orcs over here, or, oh God, defend the city from this going on, or whatever that might be in that level. We're missing that level, and we're cutting right to this cutscene afterwards, which might have some pivotal points of dialogue and stuff, but we don't have the context or the care or appreciation for that dialogue that's being given at that point because they haven't given it to us.
Right.
And shoot, I am an amateur myself, but it feels like an amateur wrote the show, and it's pretty novice in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
It has the potential to be so good because, like you said,
I did
beautiful.
The guy that played Sauron did a good job, though. I like that. I don't know his name, but anyway, yeah.
The Charlie Vickers. The
or
guy that's
whatever.
playing Anatar, that played Halbrand and now Anatar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I actually like him a lot better as Anatar than I did as Halbrand. I think he's really up to his game. He was like, "Oh, y'all are going to complain about me. I'm not going to be a complaint next season," and he's not. But yeah, it's just so interesting. It's a weird kind of it's an experiment in a way. I guess every TV show is.
Yeah.
This experiment's not going well. It's not going awfully. It's not going well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, what else have you seen this week? You want to talk about that?
Mainly it's just been Rebel Moon and just what else have I watched this week?
A little SGU from Wednesday.
Yeah. Just thinking about it. I guess thinking about our charity stream coming up. How we're gonna do that. It kind of is exciting. Watch through some season 1. I should watch the whole series from the beginning again anyway. It's about time. It's been a couple years. Yeah, and my husband are just continuing to do a watch through of DS9, Voyager, Enterprise. We're kind of like watching one of each and just kind of like going, so we're watching kind of all 3 of those at once, just an episode at a time. So, yeah.
Those don't overlap, do they?
No.
Okay. I still have to mentally prepare myself for all that. So I try to do it every time. Like,
I haven't watched the original series in like forever. So if we ever wanted to, I don't know how we'd work it out, like do like a watch party of the original series or something.
Hey, well, whenever I'm getting to the original series part, if you want to hop on and do those, you might as well.
Yeah.
Because how long is that going to take? Well, we got Enterprise, half a Discovery. and
if you're going to do that, I don't think you should do the chronological thing, but do what you want to do. But I don't think you should.
It's every time I hear I shouldn't, it makes me just want to do it more.
I know. I know.
But I can't wait to be. I shouldn't be excited about it, but I can't wait to be confused, which is weird. But I hope I'm confused for like 3 seasons, and then I'm like, that makes sense here, and this is making sense here. I just hope there's like an epiphany moment or 3, throughout just watching everything. If that doesn't happen, Star Trek is not a very succinct story. Where Star Wars is a little, there's plenty to be pissy about. And I'll be pissy about it all day and not pissy about it in other areas, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. I have watched it chronologically from the get-go to the end, and it's a succinct story. Stargate, the same way. Succinct story.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Star Trek is or not, so let's try it out, I hope. Please watch it in release order, please. Okay.
Yes, I agree, Oliver, but he's not going to do it.
I love it. Brett said y'all are season 2 of DS9, 4 Voyager, 3 of Enterprise. Ooh.
Yeah.
We talked to 4 background actors, stand-ins. Oh, did y'all already air this, Michael? Excuse me, I'm coughing again. We talked to 4 background actors, stand-ins from DS9 a couple weeks ago, including Brock the Ferengi. And Impel the Dabo gear. I think I said that right. I'm hoping. They were awesome in their stories working on the show. That sounded awesome, just from what you were messaging us about. I didn't actually see the episode yet. If it is released, put it in the chat, and we'll do the episode title, and we'll put it up here on screen so people can go look it up.
Yep.
What is up here? Oh, some other just stuff. Did you watch anything else this week? A little Star Trek, Stargate.
Lots of hockey, but that doesn't really help this show.
I saw Brett toss in there earlier. Like, I can talk about hockey for about 30 seconds. I was like, that's my expertise. I'm like, had an old miner one in town, and I know the name Wayne Gretzky. That's
it.
I watched some Letterkenny and Trailer Park Boys. I don't know if that counts, but
I have to finish Letterkenny. I got to finish Letterkenny. I started watching it. It's great. It's like watching a study in that kind of humor. I love it.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I haven't watched, I guess, 2 or 3 of the more recent seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because I guess I just never really I never watched it throughout its entirety. It was just kind of like friends would have it on, so I would watch it all the time, and I have friends that adore it.
Right.
And it's
good. Yeah.
It's smart. I like that. It's smart in its own way, you know. And it's an experiment, like you just said. It's a case study, and it's an experiment in its own little way.
Yeah,
it's damn good. The Shoresy stuff, I was kind of like, all right, I'm over.
I haven't seen any of that yet, but I don't know.
Did you watch Trailer Park Boys?
Like, stay awake 24/7 for like a week and watch all this stuff.
I'm just waiting for that Elon Musk Neuralink to actually be good, and we all know it's good, and then just plug a few TV shows in my brain or something. Like,
so you can just be like, was it Neo that was like, I know Kung Fu or whatever?
Yeah.
Downloaded it.
Start doing Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon moves 20 seconds later.
Yeah. Or fly a helicopter or whatever else you need to know.
Trinity just like, I'm gonna hop on a motorcycle and I'm so good I'm gonna jump on top of cars with it and do some other crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I wish. Matrix, I had the same thought at the same time. That's happened a couple times. I like that we're all in tune. Yeah, Letterkenny, that's a Texas size 10-4. Did you ever watch Trailer Park Boys?
No, I've heard good things about it though, and I've seen like kind of pictures, or I think there's been some memes made of like from that. Yeah. Okay. I have not seen it.
Taste. But once you acquire that taste, it only takes about 2 episodes to acquire that taste.
Right.
But once you're there, you're like, okay, I get it. It's seriously not seriously serious. Not seriously, but serious. And it's so great. Yeah. My son wanted me to watch that. I should try. It is the epitome of stupidly smart, because once again, it's really, really smart in its own way. But damn it, it's a very particular way. It's interesting.
I'll add it to my list.
They grow.
Yeah.
And watch out, Melvin. I haven't seen old Sci-Fi Quest in here today.
Yeah, I don't think he's here today.
But he's still hollering at me to watch No Ordinary Family. And I will watch it. I know you'll watch this on a rerun at some point, right. Melvin. I will watch it, I promise. Yeah, I don't think I've seen him. I was just starting to scroll up through there. It was filmed right where I live. Ooh, which one? Oh, and Carrie. Howdy, Carrie.
Yes.
Hi, Carrie. We missed you. We were hoping you'd be there for SGU. But come hang out for our charity streams, because we need backup. We need backup. We need help.
I think we said like 12 hours, but it's actually like 22 or something, isn't it? Yeah.
I think 12 hours is going to be SGA. I think it's going to be like 17 to that 22 range. I think 22 sounds about right. Because 10 seasons, 2 episodes, 45 minutes per episode, but I guess 40 minutes per episode with credits at the end. But then again, half of them are double episodes. So
yeah.
We're going to be great. We already talked about that? I'm behind. I am behind. It happens. These chats, they scroll. I can only pay attention so much. Once again, Mr. ADD over here. Monk. Hold up. I'm getting there. Anything else that you watched this week, though? What was that?
That's pretty much it. I'm gonna try to. I want to try to start watching Silo this week, so you got to see that. So that's my homework assignment, and I've got to record my questions. So,
but you already got those 2, which are sweet.
Yeah.
What? Why am I blanking on Silo?
It has what's her name in it? Oh my gosh.
Oh, Rebecca Ferguson.
Yeah.
Ferguson.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I know this. I know exactly what you're saying. I haven't seen it yet either, but that's always been on my list. That and that Josh Brolin one. I think that's out of range. But those are two that I just, want to watch, just never have.
Yeah.
I was too busy typing things in. That they beat me to it.
Awesome. Yeah.
Carrie doing the Jerry Maguire. Oh, you've been to that? Oh, thank you. Tim Robbins is also hilarious. It took me a second to get into that comedy, but
yeah, my husband's been watching it on his own without me. No, just kidding. Sorry, just joking.
He's downstairs watching it right now.
Yeah, probably.
Sorry.
It's okay. No, I know he's watching it. It's fine. It's on the list, and now that I'm like doing this, I really need to be on the ball with this kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, we talk about it how we talk about it. We don't need to stress ourselves out.
Yeah.
Because the one thing I did kind of stress myself out about was the Acolyte, because I was like, you know what, we haven't had anything going on for a while. Let's jump back into it, get some live streams going, and I committed to it. Well, that one hurt my brain. That one hurt.
Yeah, we gotta try that with a show that's good. I don't know what that would be. Anyway, I mean, I guess we're going to be kind of doing it with Stargate. But.
Yeah, we're going to be doing it all in one day as much as we can. And we always kind of do it throughout time as well, because we'll jump back in and out of Stargate any given day.
Yeah.
I remember Tim Robbins in War of the Worlds. Tim Robbins is in War of the Worlds. What? What?
The new one with Tom Cruise. He's the guy in the basement.
I need to go rewatch that movie. That's actually hilarious. I've got an IPTV. I pay with Bitcoin. I'm good. Yeah, he plays a crazy guy.
Yeah.
That's a good one, David. David making jokes. Oh, wait. Which David? This David. Excuse me. If you can pick one streaming service, what is it? YouTube does not count. What are you thinking, Sarah? I got to think about that one.
Oh, God. Well, I know. It's just because there's I want to
totally would have chose YouTube.
I wouldn't have this or that or the other thing. So well, to me, it comes down to Netflix, Paramount Plus, and Prime. Is Star Trek only on Paramount Plus now? I don't know. Anyway,
I think part of it's still on Netflix.
Right. I'm tempted to just say Prime because of Stargate.
I mean,
but I mean, that's the problem with streaming, right? Every different one has a thing on it that you want to see. I mean, I guess Netflix doesn't really have something like that, but
well, that's the thing. I'm kind of with you. It's probably either Prime or Netflix for me, but that's cut. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily because of what they have always,
right?
But because they're the two that are consistently purging, getting new things, new things.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I can't watch it this month or next month, but maybe I'll watch it next year.
Right.
But also, that sucks.
Yeah.
Can I pick the streaming bundle between Netflix Max and Disney Plus or whatever? Does that count?
Yeah, then there's all the Marvel and Star Wars stuff on Disney Plus, so
and you're completely out of the zeitgeist if you're not watching any of that, So
right, exactly.
That one's hard, especially now. 5 years ago, that one probably would have been fairly easy. It would have been Netflix or Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Now. It's Paramount Plus too. The majority of individual shows I watch are probably on Paramount Plus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Good question though. Good question. Star Trek Prodigy still on Netflix. Oh, Monk. Does Criterion count as streaming? I guess you said Criterion Channel, so yeah.
I've never heard of that one.
It's the, I was gonna say fancy movies. It's kind of like your Academy level movies, not necessarily ones that have won Academy Awards, but that like prestige tier of film.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the film nerds' true bread and butter right there.
Okay.
Yeah, but then again, those movies are on Netflix, so I'm kind of like, well, I probably.
And we're forgetting about Apple TV as well.
Oh,
and that's got. We speak of Silo.
Yeah.
And what? And Foundation. I need to watch that also. And
Foundation's really good. That one's worth it.
I started watching. Was it Constellation? Stormy said to watch that. I started watching it.
Yeah.
So I got to finish that.
And First Man's supposed to be really good. Not First Man.
For All Mankind.
For All Mankind. Thank you.
I need to watch that too. I watched like the first season, maybe 2 seasons of it. I don't know. Anyway, again, the list of half watch, need to watch.
Gross. Yep. Literally, you know what cracked me up right as you popped up on a screen. I saw this, which cracked me up even more. I couldn't say anything, and I was like, to myself, was literally my note that says listen to the new Linkin Park stuff was like right here. I kind of like shuffled around a few different papers. I was like, one of the many.
Oh yeah, we were talking about metal with Matt Wednesday. That's right. But that was later. We were talking about that. But
yeah. That was after we'd gotten out of the Stargate outpost. Yeah. We were venturing outside of the outpost, just wandering around a little bit.
Yeah.
But okay. Criterion Channel would be a great option. David said we're moving back towards OG cable like streaming. We are.
It's gone around in a big circle. And of course.
I much prefer streaming over cable, but they need to make it profitable for their companies or we won't have any of it in 5 years. So maybe add a cable like element to streaming, which they're doing. And
with the ads and stuff, it's making it even more. Yeah.
The War of the Worlds made about 2019 and featured Robert Carlyle. Really? BBC redid it? Huh. Will not give Disney money. I don't blame you. Excuse me. Oh, God. Start feeling one thing. I'm like, word, no, cough, Teacup on Paramount is not great and not bad. That looked interesting. And For All Mankind, Brett had it for us. I wasn't down in the comments fast enough. He beat us to it. David was also on it. Tony too. Everybody's here. And literally Oliver. Oh my God! I just had to scroll down 4 inches on a screen. Oops. Is Stargate on MGM Plus? I guess it's the quality of Stargate you want to watch also.
Right.
Yeah, it's all on MGM Plus. I'm not sure what Stargate is on. I think SG-1 may be on Amazon Prime proper. But I don't think anything that's on proper is lesser of quality, right? Isn't it like old SD quality levels?
It looked fine to me when I watched it, but I don't know. But that was SGU, and were they filming? Was SGU filmed in HD? I don't know. Or maybe Stargate gets later because it was kind of pre-HD when they started that, right? So
yeah. I don't know. I think it's all on MGM Plus. I believe every little bit of it. I know the movie is strictly on MGM Plus because I tried to watch the movie the other day. And I was like, can't do it. And then I got back to my house and I was like, I can do it now. And I watched it again. Which I guess that's a fun time to say. I know Co-Clud on Co-Clud's channel, on Michael's channel. Jamie will be on there soon. And I guess I was invited. So I'll come hop on there too if you all have me. On the 27th.
I'll probably be in chat if you guys have me. Yeah,
it'll be a great. That's always fun. I haven't been on one of his streams, but just the few minutes I got to meet him and hang out, and we've chatted as well, just throughout Facebook and stuff like that. Cool dude, love the channel, and
he and Jamie were doing watching the Star Trek movies, but I think they quit doing that. But maybe
I don't know. that might be something they could get back on at a certain point. I don't know.
Yeah.
But on the 27th, so I guess a week from today, so after next Sunday's Sci-Fi Sunday, I will be jumping on over to the ending of the season, I believe is how they're calling it, for Dial the Gate. I'm going to do the little Stargate trivia stuff, and it's going to be fun. We're going to be talking about the 30th anniversary of Stargate, the movie. So it'll be fun.
Yeah. Makes me feel old because I actually saw it when it came out in the theater. Anyway.
I was 4.5 years from being thought about at that moment.
Yeah.
But it's so freaking good.
Anyway, I'm gonna have to take off here in a couple minutes, but
oh yeah, no, we've hit the 2-hour mark. I'm at this point we're kind of, I guess, promoting. I'll give my finalities of what I watched for the week real quick. I'll give you a spiels next week, y'all. And yeah, we'll hop out of here because I need to get back to my Colin Cunningham research for the interview this Tuesday. I'm ecstatic about it in person, so we will not be releasing the interview just yet. But expect it probably either Friday or Saturday, or will we? I can't even speak again. Or we will release it throughout the week, the following week. So keep your eyes out for that. We'll keep you posted because there's going to be some fun stuff happening. And outside of that, I think Wednesday we're going to do a Radical Wasteland podcast. I don't know if Greg's going to be able to do it as much. He's in Florida with his wife to help their family pick up some stuff and, a little vacation, but a hurricane, as they say, because you got to pick up after the stuff. I'm from where hurricanes are from, so we leave and we call it a hurricane. We're like, we know it's going to be bad when we get back, so we're going to have fun while we're gone, kind of deal. But vice versa. He's leaving the West to go to the East to help it out, which is nice. You got to help family where you can. And he's going to hop in the stream as well, so that'll be good, just for a little bit. But Bethesda, as announced, October 23rd is now not Stargate Day. I was at Stargate Day. Fallout Day, because that's the day the bombs dropped. So that'll be fun. We're going to do a little stream for that.
There should be a Stargate Day, too. Yeah.
I think there is. I don't know what day it is, but we need to be celebrating it year in, year out. Because now we got May the 4th. There's a Star Trek Day, too, isn't there? I think.
Yeah, it's something when the Federation was founded. I don't remember what the day is, though.
Somebody help us. Real quick. Brett's a member! Hell yeah. Everyone's getting a pit boy. You get a pit boy. You get a pit boy. You get a pit boy. We're pumped.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brett. It's fun. Memberships are great because you get to just, use little fun emojis. And you get to have
now we have one of each. My husband is a member, and I'm a member on the Patreon. So,
Ayo. Y'all can both come to watch parties now. So whenever we do the original series, we're all set. April 21st is Star Trek Day. No, April 3rd. April 3rd is Star Trek Day.
Yeah.
Get to watch my wife. Keep an eye on her, November 23rd is Doctor Who Day. Okay. Well, we'll try to celebrate a little bit. You said you're a bit of a Whovian, aren't you?
Yeah, I like the new, yes, I've been watching it since, they came back in 2005 or whatever, but I do have to admit, like the last season that just came out, I need to watch a couple more, I need to finish that, but yeah, I've loved it. It's been a little, since Matt Smith left, it's been kind of,
downhill a little bit.
But I still enjoy it. I think sometimes they try to make it a little overcomplicated, but we'll get there.
Tis with the times at the moment, sadly. This cracked me up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
What is my cat doing in here? She just brought a fake mouse around that kind of spooked me for a second. I was like, what animal did you bring in here? Just a fake one. Brett, you could join your wife. And literally the next second, he's like, I'm not locked in here with you. You're all locked in with me. Which is great. Gesundheit. Hey, thank you. Because I don't need it, especially the last couple of weeks. All right, we've hit our 2 hours 7 minutes. We're good on here. Y'all can keep us talking all day, and we can keep each other talking all day. There's too many good things to talk about.
Yeah.
Your cat's bringing you presents. Not any fun presents. It's the fake mouse. Oh, also, I don't want my cat to bring me a real mouse right now anyway, so that's a good thing.
Right. Well, to her, it's a real mouse, so, you know.
That's true. I hope the red dot counts as a mouse, too, because she likes that red dot. April 5th. Okay. Hit that like button. Damn right. Y'all listen to Tony. Y'all listen to Carrie. Y'all listen to the folks. We know what's going on. They really know what's going on. And if they're telling you to like, we got to do it. But, okay, so real quick. And no worries, Carrie. Message me on Facebook. Life is life, you know? But what I watched this week, real quick, I did watch the newest episode of Tulsa King, which is phenomenal. So good. And then the Penguin was phenomenal. So good. I want to do more Penguin talk, but I got to get to some Colin Cunningham. We will have more Penguin to talk next week. Don't worry, Monk.
Yep.
And outside of that, David, the Only Murders in the Building, the newest episode was phenomenal. So good. Like literally every episode that's come out this week has been great. The Agatha episode, I guess, was not as great, but it was, a little flashback episode. It made everything else make sense to a degree. So which that was good in that way. But yeah, that sounds about right. I don't think I actually went to a movie theater with my throat. Oh, I rewatched Stargate, the movie, and I watched a little SGU this week, of course. I think that's kind of it. I know there's something else. I'm gonna, in 2 minutes after we hop off, I'll be like, but it'll happen. Enjoyed the stream. Thank you, Copeland. Oh, David, merch fund. Yeah. Thank you, David. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Brett saying for Harris, per aspera, ad and ferry. I know the per aspera part. The ad and ferry, maybe not as much, but the per aspera ad astra, I got you on that one. I love it. Penguin, the best show on TV right now. It's either Penguin or Tulsa King, honestly. Oh, they're so good. They're only murders. They're all great in their own way. Ghost reference. Ghost to what?
I think what he said, that's a reference to the Ghost band.
Oh, the band Ghost. Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. See, now we need Matt because I don't know what Ghost is. But Matt knew. And Matt.
Yeah, Matt is the Ghost band. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, we've hit 210. Right. I'd say that's a damn good stream. You about ready to call it a day?
Sounds good. I am ready.
Sweet. Well, once again, thank you to Suki and David for the super chats, and thank you for becoming a new member, Brett. It's going to be a lot of fun. Happy Trailer Reactor. Hello and goodbye. Sorry, we're literally right at the end of the stream. Roll that sucker back.
Yes, you can watch it, rewatch it as many times as you want. So there you go.
No worries. Never a worry in the world. Sorry we were getting out of here right as you're hopping in, but there's a lot to check out, a lot to rewatch. It was a really good stream. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, we covered Star Trek, Stargate, Babylon 5, Doctor Who, Amazon and Sony and MGM in general.
Right.
A little Netflix on there. There was a lot to talk about.
Yep.
There was a lot to talk about. I like it. But once again, thank y'all. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And we'll see y'all shortly. Hopefully on Wednesday. Come see us on Wednesday. A little Radical Wasteland.
Yep.
No?
Adios. Okay. All right.
Bye.
Toodles.